Welcome back to Babbie's house. Already I got the giggles because today's guest just has a funny bone that is to beat the band. You're going to love Scott Humston. He is an illusionist, meaning he does magic tricks, but they all have a purpose, and it is to God's glory. And he has been doing this for a minute, he says, all day. And so I want you all to help me to welcome to Babbie's house, Scott Humston. My friend, it's good to see you. How are you?
Nice to see you, Babbie. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming, my friend. Okay, for real. Yeah. How long have you been doing this?
I've been performing professionally for about 25 years.
Wow. Yeah. You don't look
I started when I was 5. So.
For real. Yeah. And so are you a family man?
I am. My wife, Debbie, and I have been married for 24 years, almost, coming up on 24. And we have 4 kids. Hannah is 18.
Wow.
Amazing. And not at home anymore. And then Abigail's 15. And we have all girls except for the boy. And then Nate is 10. And then our newest little one is just 8. And
wow.
her name is Surprise. So no, her name is Rachel Grace.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so they're great. We homeschool the 2 little ones still. Well, my wife does. She's the teacher. I'm the principal. So that's what I tell people. And my wife has been homeschooling. You know, she homeschooled the older girls as well. So
yes.
Yeah.
So how'd you get into doing illusions?
Oh man, I got tricked into it. Seriously, my dad's a pastor, or he keeps retiring, right? But pastors never really retire, do they?
True.
So we had a guy when I was a kid come to our church named Reverend Clyde Sarrett. And he did this vacation Bible school, kids crusades for my dad. And my dad, being a pastor, you know, he moved around a lot. Can't stay in one church very long. They get after you. And we moved around. And so he had Pastor Sarrett come to different churches. So I grew up seeing him. So my first exposure to a magic trick was in a church context. And I guess probably before we go any further, I should say it's really important that magicians do tricks, but God does miracles. And there's a big difference. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I can't wait. I mean, is there like a...
Yeah, you want to see? You want to try something?
I want no better time than the present.
All right. So we use magic tricks, illusions to connect with people, right, and then share the gospel with them. So I got a business card, Babbie. I'm going to write, I'm just going to draw a line on the back of the card, and I want you to write something. You can write a word, you can write a name of someone that you know or you don't know. It doesn't matter. Let me just give you that, and just write that, and then turn it face down so I can't see it. All right. I'm going to turn my head, so don't let me see it. All right. We didn't prearrange this, right?
No, we did not. You want me to turn it over?
Yes, ma'am. Turn it over.
Okay.
You got it? All right. So I'll take the pen. Thank you. And I'll take the card. If you put it face down in my hand, I won't look, but I'm going to put it back in here so I can't see it.
Okay.
And you can't see it. Okay. And I'll put that in there. I want you to just concentrate on the name, okay, that you wrote. So just say it over and over again in your mind. And we didn't prearrange this. I didn't tell you ahead of time. You have no idea what's about to happen. I want you to think of the first letter, but not on your lips. Just concentrate on the first letter. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, G. It begins with the letter G. Is that correct?
That's right.
The next letter is E.
That's right.
I think... it can be the name of a person, but it's also the name of the state. In fact, where we are right now, is it Georgia? Is that what you wrote?
That's right.
Georgia, isn't that great?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, how did you do that?
I did it very well.
Yes, you did. Yeah. Georgia is the state that I live in, but that's my mother's name.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Excellent. I didn't know that.
That's very cool.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
So, so how do you, obviously you perform for people of all ages.
Yes, ma'am.
Do kids respond differently than, say, adults?
Yes, of course. So we do, family is really my target, family, so kids and parents together. But like the supposed mind reading that I just did, it's a trick, right? Anybody can do that. I mean, a 5-year-old kid could do what I do with 25 years of practice.
Well, that is pretty phenomenal, okay? Pretty amazing.
What happens is when we do a family program, we do stuff for family. If I'm doing just an adult program, then we do stuff that maybe adults would appreciate more, like some of the supposed mind reading kind of tricks. You want to try one more?
I do.
All right, I got a couple books.
This is fun.
Let's see, pick a book.
I say the, let me see, what you got here?
Instant Intuition.
I like that, Instant Intuition.
I knew you were going to pick that, right? So it has almost 200 pages. right? So I'm going to flip through thousands of words.
Okay.
I'm going to flip through, as I say, stop. If you would stop and just look at the first word of the first line that you see.
You want me to tell you to stop?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Stop.
Is that good?
That's
Would you look at the first word of the first line? You see it? Would you say it over and over again in your mind? I'll close the book, concentrate on it. Again, I want you to think it. Oh, this is a word that you picked. It's not night, but it's not day. The word is evening. Is that correct?
That's correct.
You want to do it again?
I do.
All right, good. Say stop for me anywhere you like.
Stop.
Good, right there. First word, first line. You got it? Say it over and over again in your mind. It's not inside, it's outside. Is that what you're thinking of?
That is
the word outside?
definitely the word outside.
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah.
That is amazing.
So imagine, though, for a minute, if I could trick you with tricks. These are tricks.
If you could trick me.
I just did trick you,
Yeah,
right?
I'm saying, you're 2 for 2 right now.
That's good. What the king of deception does to us every day, right? Constantly deceiving us, right? If I just drive this car, I'll have everything I want. Or if I just live in this neighborhood, or if I just go to this church, or if I just know these people, or if I just make this amount of money, right? He's been deceiving people since the garden, right? And he continues to do it. So what I like to tell people is we use deception to teach truth. Because when you, as Christians, when we can discern deception from truth, then we understand it all the more, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Do you get an opportunity to perform outside of churches, maybe corporate functions and things like that?
Yeah, I do. It's what I do is faith-based, whether I'm in a church environment or a parachurch environment or in schools. We do a lot of school programs. We do a character ed program called the Pro Kids Show in schools, which is really great. Teaches honesty, respect, responsibility. Something that we all want our kids to grow up to learn, right? And God has seen that program do some amazing things. Like, for instance, I never forget, years ago, I had a Baptist church in Texas scheduled, and they canceled, right? And when you work as a performer, a cancellation, that hurts.
Absolutely. I know that well, yeah.
So they canceled. I thought, well, you know, it hurt, but God has something else in store. And so we actually got a call from an Orthodox Hebrew school on Long Island. So I tell people, instead of going to speak to Baptists in Texas, I went to talk to Jews in New York, right? And so God has just seen the ministry do some amazing things through the years. Yeah.
Do you find that there is another generation of illusionists coming behind you? Is this a craft that is waning, or do you see it's thriving?
Oh yeah, it's more exciting now than ever, I think. And the young guys, I've been doing it since I was a kid, right? And the guys younger than me are just so creative and so amazing, partly because they have the internet to compete with, right? When I was a kid, I had to search out magic trick books in the library.
Yeah.
Section 793.8, by the way. And that's where I found books on magic tricks. My granddad was actually driving me to Walmart one day. I stayed with my grandfather, and we were going on the way to Walmart, and I looked up and I saw it said VIP Magic, and it was a magic shop. And we stopped and went in, and I'll never forget that. But I had to search that out. Now you've got it. The world at your fingertips.
You do.
You can learn anything.
Well, I want to see something else.
Okay,
I mean, I'm just so intrigued.
I'm going to show you a trick, and if you like the way it's done, say, "Wow, Scott, that's amazing."
Okay.
I'll teach you how to do the trick. Is that a deal?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So I got to get something out of my magic hat.
Okay.
A scarf, right? A red scarf. Now watch closely. At no time will my fingers leave my hands. Did you stay with me on that one?
I'm with you.
All right, all right.
Takes a minute, but I'm there.
No, it's all right. So the scarf is going to go inside my left fist. Watch, this is a good trick. Usually. It goes inside. Can you get this? Here we go. Snap. It changes to an egg.
Wow, Scott, that's amazing.
Yeah, and it reappears, the scarf, in the hat.
Wow, Scott, that's amazing.
Isn't that great? Would you like to learn how to do it?
I would.
So this is the perfect, thank you. Yeah, thank you, appreciate that. You can go to Hobby Lobby.
Yes,
or
we know Hobby Lobby.
Cracker Barrel,
okay.
and buy one of these.
Yes.
Right?
Well, at my house, we raise chickens.
Do you?
Yeah, we have eggs, so
well,
we
so
have access.
This is a wooden egg with a hole in the back.
What?
See, a wooden egg. It was laid by a decoy.
Wow, Scott, that's amazing.
Isn't that? So what happens? You put handkerchief number 2 in the hat. Okay. Handkerchief number 1 which is in the egg, goes on top, and the egg goes on top of that. So as you do the trick, you reach in and palming, you palm the egg, but you bring out the handkerchief like this, so it hides it, right?
Yes.
You see how easy it is to be magical and tricky, right?
Yes, got it.
So you switch hands, and then you can show both hands empty, and then you push the handkerchief inside the egg. This takes a little bit of practice, the first couple of 1,000 times. So you tuck and roll, tuck and roll, tuck and
roll.
Yep, not stop, drop, and roll. That's what you do if your body's on fire. You tuck and roll, get it all the way inside there. Now, this is the hard part. Once it's all the way inside, you don't want anybody sitting behind you. Snap your fingers like that, show the egg, and then you reach in the hat and pull out the handkerchief. You got it? Now, don't let them sit behind you, because if they sit behind you, what do they see? The hole, right? They see the hole in the egg. If they see the hole in the egg, that's when you become magical and tricky. And you peel the hole off the egg. Now, if you peel the hole off the egg, that means
what?
You can have a real egg.
Wow, Scott, that's amazing.
Yeah. Oh man, the yoke's on me.
Who are some of these illusionists that have impacted you through the years? There have been some great ones.
Oh yeah. So I've had 5 mentors. The most recent was a guy named Felix Snipes. I don't know if you have heard of Felix, but he lived in Atlanta, a member of First Baptist. In fact, Felix has an amazing story. He's the one that picked up the phone as a deacon at First Baptist and called Charles Stanley to come to First Baptist, which is a great story.
Wow.
And so Felix really poured into me. And then before that, I had a guy named Steve Pennington. Do you know that name, Steve Pennington?
I don't know Steve Pennington.
Maybe you know a name, Cindy Wade Carey.
Cindy Wade. Cindy
Yes.
Wade. Well, you know, my maiden name is Wade.
Oh, okay.
So Cindy and I are like, you know, sisters
So
from
you
way back.
You sang at her wedding.
Yes, I did.
And she said it was
Knew
the
her husband.
most anointed, one of the most anointed singers she's ever heard.
Cindy is my dear friend.
Yeah, so I know Cindy from mutual friends, and she was friends with a guy named Steve, who was one of my mentors. And in fact, you know a guy named Jim Dellis?
Jim Dellis. Jim and I go way back.
Right.
He's one of the finest writers, producers, musicians on the planet.
So Jim produces music for me.
Okay.
For the Pro Kids show and what we do. So did you sing a song years ago called Do Something Great? Or It's the Right Time? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I use those in my program.
Mm-hmm. What?
I use that music in my program.
That is
Isn't
awesome.
that amazing?
Wow.
So
it's amazing how
it's a small world,
I just pray
isn't
and
it?
ask God to use these songs, and they end up in the most crazy places.
It is. It's amazing. So you have a rich history, right?
I do.
With all of that.
I do.
So Steve was one of those guys. He worked with Jim and Cindy's late wife, Chris, or
Yes.
late husband, Chris, yeah, thank you. Chris, they worked together producing programs, again, for schools and churches and theme parks. And,
very talented man.
Yep.
Loved him.
When I told Steve I was going to be with you, he's like, I think she sung these songs that, we're still using, actually, some of these tracks, which
That's
is
awesome.
pretty amazing.
Do we have time for one more?
Yeah, one more. You ready to help me?
I am.
All right.
I am.
So we
got 2 minutes. Can you do it in 2 minutes?
Yep, got some tissue paper. I'll rip it in half. 2, ripped it in half makes...
2?
Four.
Yeah,
That's
you got
right.
4
That's right.
pieces?
4
Okay,
pieces.
yeah,
That's
4.
right. You take 2, though, and I'll take 2.
I'm a good singer, but I'm a bad
I
mathematician.
understand. I am, too. Wave them in the air. Put them together like this. Have you ever gotten a present wrapped in tissue paper like this?
I have.
You know what that means? They were in a hurry. That's what that means.
That's right.
But they still love you. Hold on to that piece, and rip it right in half, right down the middle. You tear it right in half, all the way in half when I say go. No, go ahead. That's all right. Perfect. And put them back together and rip them in half the other direction. Now, you know what I love to tell people, Miss Babbie, is very simply this, that no matter how torn apart your life may seem, no matter how ripped to shreds it could possibly be, right, that magicians are in the trick business, but God is in the miracle business. I'll take your pieces. If I could put these pieces back together, would that be a good trick?
That would be a wonderful trick.
Yeah, it's my job, right? But if you give your pieces, no matter how torn apart they are, to God, through his one and only Son, Jesus Christ, that loved us so much, right? That he came that we might have life and life abundantly.
You got about 30 seconds.
Yeah, no matter how torn apart things are, Christ creates all things new.
What?
Things come back together in the most amazing, beautiful, incredible, outstanding way. And look at that. For a lady named Babbie, a beautiful hat. You never know what beautiful will come from something so torn apart, right?
Oh, man, I'm so happy you're here today.
Thank you so much.
You're a blessing.
Appreciate it.
How can we find you on the internet, and your concert schedule and what have you?
Yeah, so it's scotthumston.com. That's my website. In fact, if you're in children's ministry or family ministry, I have a free ebook called 11 Ways to Improve Family Ministry.
Awesome.
Free download on my website. We have a couple free ebooks on the website. Love for you to download those, let them be an encouragement to people.
I'm so happy you came this
so
way.
much.
Come back
Appreciate
again,
it.
all right?
I would love to.
You're amazing.
Thank you.
That's amazing, Scott.
Sure.
All right, after this break, we'll be right back after these messages. You are the bomb diggity.